What's up, y'all? We here. We here. We are talking about. Let me turn that on. Turn that on. We are talking about it. What's up, Rocky? We got Rocky joining us today. Rocky says hi from down here. Anyway, we're going to talk about two things that tie in today. I want to first off say salute to my people in the comment section and in the chat. When I did my live last night talking about, and I mentioned briefly about what happened on King Simon show, I thought was a good, fruitful discussion. And brothers, peace, kept it cool. Y'all told me to go watch Brother Rich's show from the earlier this week with Professor Griff. So I did. And I want to thank my chat room for telling me to watch that. Because at the end of that show, there was a Jamaican lady, or she's born here, and no issues with her. I don't know who she is. So this isn't about her in particular. But it's about a thought that what she said that us as Black Americans have been hearing forever. And as people from not here in America telling us what we don't need. We need to get over it. We need to get past it. See, there's a reason why you only have. Let me back up. There's a reason you don't have the same story we have, and the white supremacists are more likely to give you opportunities than us. We all share slavery in common. Yes, we do. We all share slavery in common. But what we don't share in common is here in America, the times that we built things, big things, owned bus companies, became politicians, had our own cities. Whether it be Allensworth here in California, whether it be Tulsa, Rosewood, Wilmington, we build it and it gets cut down. And after what we build gets cut down, we see others come over here and get fresh opportunities. My ancestors were on this land when the Homestead Act passed. Yeah, a handful of Black people got some land there in Oklahoma, a handful, but those numbers were limited. And then a lot of the Black land that people did claim righteously, they got beat out of in court. We saw 98% of the land that went to the homestead go to people that just got here from Germany. That's a fact. I don't know if 98% is the fact, but the majority of it, damn close to 100% of it, we saw the Irish and the Dutch and the French the Italians come in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They were non-whites like us, only to see them unionize. And we were living in Boston when we saw the Irish get the police department. We were living in Chicago when we saw these different ethnic groups that 10 years ago were on the same side of the fence that we were. We saw them get handed opportunities. We saw the Italians get the Italians and the Irish fight over who gets to run the police department and who gets to run the fire department, while they come together to push us out from running any department. We were in New York when we saw the immigrants from Ellis Island get handed out all of the medallions for the taxi cab companies. We were there for that. We were there in New York when we got displaced out of Seneca Village that turned into Central Park. We were there in Florida when Miami built up a nice, beautiful city, only to see the I-95 come through and cut it out and cut it down. We were there for that. We're talking about multi-generational trauma. We're not talking about slavery, although slavery is a major part of it. We're talking about after slavery, And I'm talking about 10 years after slavery. God damn it. 1877. We have hundreds of towns all throughout the country, the North and the South, our own towns. Only to see the USDA admit back in 2018 that they purposely sabotaged a lot of black farmers. Let me see if I can find that article. We just getting started. I didn't even get into what we talking about yet. We just getting started. Let me see if I can find that. The USD basically said that they oh, this was a more recent article. Also, a class action lawsuit. Look at this. Thompson, don't get rich. That they sold black farmers bad seeds. The country we pay taxes in, only to see some jive ass nigga like Henry Louis Gates call people that left the South and went to the North migrants. They wasn't no goddamn migrants. They was prisoners of war that got fucked over. Honest businessmen and women that bought seeds and got sold bad seeds from the fucking government, only for other groups to come in and collude to box us out of industry. And the same thing is happening right now in the women's hair care industry. The same thing's happening right now. I know 2 women that open up beauty care spots. They be like, why do black people open up their own stores? Well, goddamn it, I know one over here in Riverside. She had TikTok. She had not TikTok, Facebook years ago. She finally opened up her own store, but the Asian resellers, wholesalers, box the black companies out. They promise deliveries on Friday. Don't get them there till next Friday. They're raising the prices on things, coming together and not selling particular products for these black-owned hair care companies. That's happening in 2020 motherfucking 5. And this right here, this class action lawsuit, this lawsuit isn't saying the USDA systematically discriminated against black farmers. It's saying the USDA is still doing it. So that, my friends and family, is how we start today's show off. Welcome, chat room. I'm about to sit back with me. We're about to play this. Karen Bass giving illegals the money, another slap in the face that black people have been experiencing, and how that ties into people saying that we don't need reparations. It all ties in together. It all ties in together. Thank you again for joining. We still got the music history class, summer school, week 3 coming up this coming Sunday. There's still time to enroll. Go to DewanB.com/courses, and it's the first course you see up there. You can enroll. You'll get the first 2 classes, and then after you get them 2 classes, you can join us live on Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, to be a part of the next class. All right? So again, welcome. Reports are up and live. I sent some of you guys emails out to give me your birthdays for your report. So if that's you, make sure you check your inbox and check your emails. Also, this coming Sunday, reparations and relaxation. Reparations and relaxation. It's a dope idea. You got, the link is in the description, but you got Tiffany Quarles, you have Camila Moore, and they're going to be telling you what reparations is about, where we stand right now in California. Camila Moore has been leading the charge for the California reparations, and she got reparations all the way to the governor's desk. So she is who she says she is. She fights hard for us. So she's someone we must support. And so she's going to be talking, and it's going to be a powerful display, because after that, you're going to get a sound bath. And trust me, your black ass need a sound bath, all right? You need one. We all do. I be going to some sound baths. Them things be good too. You be sitting back in them bowls be humming. I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Hey, but they sound way better than my voice. Man, them sound baths be fucking great. You leave, you be like, yeah, time to take a nap. So make sure you go to that, all right? Because you need to keep your damn sanity in this world of insanity. But let's get into talking about Karen Bass acting a motherfucking ass, all right? Mayor Karen Bass proves her Latino lineage is stronger in her mind and how she approaches life than her black lineage. She proves it yet again because out of nowhere, Mayor Karen Bass decides that families of illegal aliens were harmed, so they're due money at a time the city has a $1 billion deficit. The state has a $12 billion deficit. This is the same Karen Bass that, when asked about reparations, she laughs. It says right here, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signed an executive order Friday affirming the city's support for migrants amid an enforcement crackdown by the Trump administrations. Under my new executive order, I am submitting a request under the Freedom of Information Act about when and where enforcement activities have taken place in LA, the identities of individuals and reason they were arrested or detained, Bass wrote on a social media post. What? About when and where enforcement activity? Did I read that wrong? Let me make sure I read that right. That shall make sense to me. Under my new executive order, I am submitting a request under the Freedom of Information Act about when and where enforcement activities have taken place in LA, the identities of individuals and reason they were arrested or detained. I thought I was having a dyslexia moment. Does that make sense to y'all? Will also be okay. What the fuck that got to do? Am I missing something? What does that have to do with you giving out this money? Okay, you're about to give out money. You about to. Okay, yeah. Submit all the goddamn requests you want. What about the money? Okay. She says, we are a proud city of immigrants. Wow. My family been in LA since the 1930s. Black people helped found LA. They never talk about how black Americans were part of the original crew, the original class that founded Los Angeles, California. The fuck is she talking about? I grew up in LA at a time where you could go all day and not see not one Mexican, not one. You wouldn't see no Belizean, you wouldn't see no Jamaicans, you wouldn't see no Africans. From Central to La Cienega, from Alameda to La Cienega, only thing you was gonna see was black people. From the 10 to the 91, the only thing you was gonna see was us. When I go in my city now, we like goddamn pepper on the egg. We sprinkled here and there. We like pepper on potato salad. Yeah, we sprinkled around. We disaggregated my neighborhood right now. Just 3 years ago, wasn't no white people here 3 years ago. Now it's almost like I would go so far as to say 35%. It wasn't no white people, it wasn't no Indians, it wasn't no Mexicans, none of that shit. It was all black people just during the pandemic. So what are you talking about? So she talks about, okay, maybe I missed something. Because this is about cash payments. Now I don't want to read Fox News. They still some hoes too. Even though I'm not a Democrat. Fuck Fox News too. They both bitches. Cash assistance to immigrants affected by raids. She's saying basically a couple $100. Because, and listen, hey, black folks, look at this. I don't mean to compare struggles, but look what they getting chipped off for. You have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash. You know how many black people that afraid to leave their goddamn house because of your terroristic ass LAPD? You know how many people I know? I remember on this channel when I interviewed Lonzo from the Worldwide Wrecking Crew. While Lonzo was running the club, discovering Dr. Dre, discovering Ice Cube, discovering Eazy-E, discovering King T and all these cats, while he was putting in that work, he was saying that when he left the club, there was one officer that for a long time would wait for him to get in his car, dip off around the corner, and pull him over. And this happened for a long time. Shake him down. You got a black man that's busy discovering the next 5 brothers that's going to change the world, and he afraid to go to work. When the hell have we gotten some goddamn cash assistance from being afraid to go to work? The fuck? You better take your motherfucking chances, nigga. Why in the hell I gotta pay for that shit out of my pocket? Because you were afraid to go to work. I thought y'all was hard working. Part of hard working is dodging the law to get to work. You know how many niggas got bad L's because they couldn't pay for some parking tickets behind on money? Parking tickets stacked up, now their license suspended, and they taking penitentiary chances every day to get to work. I know at least 7 niggas right now doing that. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Everybody in here, either you or somebody you know, is taking a penitentiary chance to get to work because they got bad L's because of child support. A lot of these niggas got bad L's over shit that ain't got nothing to do with driving. They put bad L's on niggas for anything. And that's where my heart goes out, because I'm a squeaky clean. My license has always been good. But I know too many brothers who ain't. So instead of being some arrogant dickhead saying, all right, you niggas just need to get it together. My license has never been suspended. I have a little bit of motherfucking empathy because I understand the traps that brothers go through. Thank God I ain't been in that trap. I've been able to avoid them traps like Deion Sanders. But why do I gotta avoid traps? That's the question. See, you niggas that do right, you get too arrogant sometimes, judging people who couldn't avoid the traps. Fuck judging people who couldn't avoid the traps. My question is, why in the hell do these traps exist? I pay taxes. My grandmama's grandmama paid taxes here. I'm trying to get rid of the fucking traps. But these are part of the traps right here. People can come here anytime they want and get things from the government that, according to the government themselves, they systematically, not according to the government, but according to these lawsuits and admission through previous articles, that they sabotaged us. Look at this. And this is just one industry. Dana Dorsey, I appreciate the Cash App. Thank you. How the USDA distorted data to conceal decades of discrimination against black farmers. They're showing you right here. We live in a country. See, you guys, this is why black Americans can't hear people when they're talking about the government. The government is corrupt. The government is corrupt. Well, what the fuck do you think the United States government is? This is what we've had to deal with. An investigation by the counter found that the USDA promoted misleading data to depict a physical renaissance in black farming. That narrative falsely inflated the department's record on civil rights and ultimately cost black people land, money, and agency. Come on, let's go on over to Chat GPT. Let's have some Chat GPT time. Let's see here. Black Americans have lost about 90% of their farmland over the last 125 years. It's the reason why I asked that question is because when you're doing anything that you're searching, you gotta have a call. You gotta have a cause and effect analysis of anything. If you only talk about the cause, nothing gets. You can't really go anywhere. If you only talk about the effect, you don't go anywhere. You gotta talk about the cause and effect as a relationship. Cause: the United States sold bad seeds to black farmers, misinterpreted their stats, so they got less resources. Cause: white farmers and buyers got together to not buy from black farms. You know, I have personal knowledge of this in this book right here, Southern Seed, Northern Soil. This is from my black family that never was enslaved. They own land and own 900 acres. I don't know what I don't find the part, but they own 900 acres of land. But in this book, it talks about how about 1880, 1890, 1870, there became a growing resistance to black farmers and black producers and manufacturers. So my family had to sell off a lot of the land that they accumulated during the time of slavery. They bought that land in 1835. They had to sell off a lot of it when you got into the 1880s because white America got together and colluded and stopped buying product because of the color of our skin. See, this is why black America had an ethnogenesis. I wasn't around back then in the 1800s, But I'm sure a fair amount of them niggas thought that they was better than other niggas. That's just how it go. That's just how it go. That's just how it go. We went through that back in the 1800s. Oh, I wasn't enslaved. You were enslaved, and I'm light skinned, brown paper bag test. That was a thing back then. But these free niggas realized something by the 1880s. You still a nigga. All right? So they had to go ahead and move up to the north, and they moved, and the grandson ended up becoming the first black doctor to head the state of Indiana Medical Review Board. I'm saying this as a flex to you, to the, not all immigrants, but for the tethers out there who think y'all teaching us something. My great granduncle got that position in the 1930s. And 3 months before Dr. Charles Drew died, he wrote the obituary for my great great granduncle, who came from this. So on one hand, we lost a lot of farmland, but you also got some of the best black doctors, and he was a mentor to Dr. Charles Drew, my great great granduncle. And his brother was the first black senator in the state of Illinois' history. Out of one family that was never enslaved. But what happened after slavery? Them niggas dealt with the same shit the enslaved ones did. Oh, let me give you another one. Let me give you this. I ain't even gotta go into the records, nigga. Where is this part? Let me see. Let me show y'all something. Let me show you something. Y'all remember Fire Marshal Bill? Let me show you something. All right, let me see if I can find it. Man, I can't find it. I cannot find the. Damn it! I don't want to look for it, but there's a newspaper clipping that I have. And for my enslaved family in Natchez, Mississippi, they were supposed to get handed land in 1855. But what happened? The governor of the state of Mississippi stepped in and said, I don't think it's a good idea that Negroes own this land in the state of Mississippi. So although that was in the slave master's will to leave that to my enslaved family, the state stepped in and said, fuck you. So my family had to pack up and move on up to Michigan, where they married a native Potawatomi, and the child of that native Potawatomi and Negro out of Natchez, Mississippi, created the black man that invented the automatic railroad crossing 100 years ago this month. That's family history. That's not digging in books, and although it is in books, that's digging through the family archives. So I said all that to say to these people that are talking about what black Americans don't need. This is our perspective. If your grandmama's grandmama wasn't born on this land, you don't understand what we've gone through. And it's not about complaining about what we've gone through. It's not about complaining about what we've gone through. It's saying we're still going through it right now. Our neighborhoods are getting gentrified right now. Black women can't own beauty supply shops right now. But look at all this land that was lost. They didn't want to lose that land. Do you know that the first Great Migration wasn't to the north? The first Great Migration in the 1860s and 70s was from plantations to just bigger cities in the South. Plantations to Birmingham, plantations to New Orleans, plantations to Mississippi, to Memphis, plantations to Atlanta. They didn't run to the north right away. Man, black people, man, like what? We just out the Civil War. Come do something, nigga. Nigga wasn't scared. Stay right there. Built our own cities, our own towns. Go back and watch what you call it, Sinners. I'm drawing a blank to the name of that town too. God damn it. Ah, damn it. I cannot find the name. I'm drawing a blank to the name of that town in Mississippi. Chatham, help me out. But that was a real town. When they're talking about escaping to, like on Sinners, there were black towns in the South. In California. One of my mods, she's in there now, Star. Her family's from Allensworth, California. What's up, Victor Venom? I appreciate the super chat. Them cards and I mean is infighting amongst allies. Blatant lies through media. That's right, Victor Venom. The card said infighting amongst allies. That's in the cards for this year because we got to get things straight. We got to get things straight. Yeah, Mound Bayou. Thank you. Thank you, Black. Mound Bayou. Mound Bayou. But my mod, Star, her family's from Allensworth, California. Y'all be thinking, no, it's California too. General Allensworth helped goddamn defeat the goddamn Indians and Sequoia. Went down. He wanted to found a town in L.A. They wouldn't let him do it. He wanted Montebello, California. They wouldn't let him do it. He wanted Alhambra, where currently Alhambra is. Let's pull up the maps. Y'all like when I go to the maps? Let me finish. Let me make sure you get the fuck off my goddamn address and let me scroll over here the fuck away from where I live. And then I will come back. So Allensworth wanted to buy black people for the most part. We didn't found Pasadena, California, but we really were the ones that settled Pasadena and made Pasadena a thing. So Allensworth wanted to come out here and get Monrovia out this way. Fuck Monrovia. Here it is. Here. I thought it was about now, mind you, Monrovia is now all Asians. Asians literally done bought this city, Chinese specifically. The Chinese done bought this goddamn city in the last 15 years. But this is where Allensworth wanted to make his settlement. Wasn't nothing out here back then. Those black folks had the money to buy that land. They said, nope, nigga, you ain't buying no land here in LA. We got enough in Pasadena and downtown. So they went, do. Let's go up the 5 freeway. Do. Past the Grapevine. Do. Past Bakerfield. Do. Let me hold on, Alex. Let me get the. Here we go. Here's Allensworth. So what they did was they made his black ass create this city way the fuck out here. Look at this. Past Bakersfield, you can't even see Monrovia anymore, can you? From way the fuck down here, to way the fuck up here, they made this man travel and these black people travel to build a city. Not only did they make them build this city, which they did. It's a beautiful city. It's a place you should go to if you're ever in that part of California. It's a beautiful. I've gone there. I've taken my wife there. It's very beautiful. These are replica houses. These are replicas of houses that are on that land. And it's a whole goddamn black community that they had. But y'all see this train line here? They hated these black people so much that they didn't even make a stop on the train line for these black people. Oh no, not this. This is where the white people live now. Ugh, not there. But this is where they have it. They have it now, and they don't even have a goddamn stop on the train line, and they didn't let the post office stop here. So when black people, here's the state park right here. I'm sorry, I was on the wrong plot. This is the replica house of Allensworth, right here. It's a beautiful place you can go to. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. But black people had to go from way in this little town, way down here to Bakersfield by horse and carriage to get the mail. They didn't even give those black folks mail access. They had to come way down here to dusty ass Bakersfield to get their mail. So whether you're in the South or South Central, black people have gone through some shit. And that takes me to this topic right here. I was watching Brother Rich's channel, and salute this channel. I'm not gonna play. I want y'all to go watch the whole video. It was a great video. But there's a woman over here on the right, and I don't want to besmirch her name. I'm just gonna show y'all. We're gonna play it behind closed doors. I'm not gonna play his video because I think that Brother Rich did a great job navigating this conversation. But I do want to play a little bit of what she said, and I want to give a response based on everything that we're talking about. I want to make sure I lay a strong groundwork and foundation for my response to what she has to say. Because what happens all the time, people like to lie and say, "Oh, I misunderstood. I don't get it." It's 2025. Black folks been talking real strong like this for a good 10 years now. You get it, all right? I'm not allowing that ignorance is no longer. What did they say? Ignorance is no longer isn't recognized by the law. You can't. Y'all know the goddamn term. Shit. We all know what it is. People are now choosing to be ignorant to what it is. So I want y'all to listen to what this sister had to say, and then I'm gonna get my response.
Bold in what you're saying, then the energy is going to get returned to you.
Okay, no. That's Brother Richardson. He was going. He did a great job. Let me get my my timestamp. Yeah. 1 second. Here we go. I'm over here. I got my plumber texting me about some work they doing. God damn it, just do the work. I don't know what the shit. You the plumber, god damn it. If you say that's what I need, that's what I need, then shit. I don't nickel and dime my plumbers. Fix the goddamn problem. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm over here getting text messages while I'm doing this. All right, let's go.
Went through trauma. Jamaicans, a lot of trauma in the slave trade. A lot of that. Right. That's where buck breaking.
Right. Come on now.
As you all know, as mentioned, I was born here in the States, but both my parents are Caribbean. So I'm not what you would call foundational Black. Okay. But as I was just explaining to a sister of mine, we are all united in this disproportionate disarrangement, disruption of our culture. And although we may have good intentions of wanting to build the identity of Americans here in this country, because a lot has been withheld, that doesn't mean that we have to be divided and that we have to be torn apart. Like, at the end of the day, everyone went through trauma. Jamaicans, a lot of trauma in the slave trade. A lot of that. That's where buck breaking came from. So it's not a matter of if you're not foundational Black, then you shouldn't have this or you shouldn't have that. Because
let's start off with that right there, the first thing she said, because a lot I want to respond to. She's equating our quest for reparations with trauma. Although trauma does play a major part of that, you have to at least recognize that this is trauma on a land that's still in existence, that we built, that currently is giving out the bag. It's not just about trauma. We're still here. And they have the money. Because as we see here in Los Angeles, Karen Bass was able to wake up one morning and say, you know what? I'm going to sign an executive order to give them some cash. We saw during the pandemic, when Americans were stressed out, America had a check. We're judging America based on how America moves and behaves. So that's where this is coming from. We're still here. And we see them handing out checks. So it's not about just going through slavery or just having trauma. It's not about that. This is business. As we see here, this land that they stole from us, that land is still there. You got Walmarts on that land. You got all kind of shit on that land. 12 million acres of it. 12 million. And that's as we're dealing with gentrification now. They don't even have the numbers for the land that we lost in the cities. The bad loans that were targeted to only Black Americans. Because redlining was so 60 years ago. Redlining was so 60 years ago. Let's talk about 2008. It's about 2012. And those intentional Black loans that were targeting Black families. Black property that was seized here in California through things like injunctions, nuisance laws. They seized the Black woman's home here in LA about 3 years ago because her grandson was a gang member. So they put a goddamn $60,000 nuisance injunction lien on her property. And of course, she didn't have no $60,000 to pay that injunction. So they just took her property. This happened like in 2022. So I need people that think like her. This is a message with love. Because again, I got love for the people that's on these shows. Like I said, I got major love for Brother Rich and everybody. I got, all the people, even the people who I can see they may feel in some kind of way. I still got love for them because they're people with non-Black American backgrounds that have taught me some beautiful things. So I got levels of love. So I deliver this message in love. Back off. Because if you talk to people who are connected to their family history, all the stuff that you read about in history books, a lot of us can say that was my family. A lot of us look around, we see the heiress of the people who the Rockefeller heirs and the heirs of the DuPont money legacy, the heirs of the JP Morgan legacy, the heirs of the people, ThyssenKrupp. Black people invented the elevator, so why the fuck ThyssenKrupp got all the goddamn money from it? We invented the light bulb, but the heirs of General Electric. And oftentimes, let me tell you something else, non-FBAs. This is gonna really fuck y'all up. Some of us can claim, including me, that some of those white legacies, they're our cousins. Because Mr. White Man went around dilly-dallying with great-great-great-grandmama. But great-great-great-grandmama still had great-great-great-granddaddy anyway and loved them and nurtured them. And then 3-4 generations later, we here. But we got cousins over there that got to keep the money, and we didn't. I know. I look at my wife's family in Alabama. There were some really high-ranking Indians, and there's another side of the white folks who ran the town. They would do all kind of stuff, but they would not touch her family. And there was a deep knowing that these were, even though it was crazy, even though the white folks had everything, beat them out of everything, there were certain parts of them white folks that wouldn't fuck with that family. Because 3 generations ago, they recognized we was cousins. And these stories go all around. Anybody, all you gotta do if you're not an FBA, just talk to a black person that knows more than just that sat down with their grandmother. That's all you gotta do. All you gotta do is find a black person that has a great relationship with their grandmother, their grandfather, and they sat down and listened. Because a lot of these niggas didn't sat down. You know, like grandma would say, sat down, sat down. Go talk to a black person that know how to sat down. Because we all know what sat down mean. Because if you don't sat down, you getting your ass whooped. Talk to a black person that sat down with the elders in church. A lot of us sat down with the elders in church. We had we had to be there anyway. Shit. I may as well talk to Brother Raymond. I mean, plenty of times. My mom in there doing prayer and shit. I just got off in school. It's Wednesday night Bible study. I want to be here. But we got here an hour early because my mom was in prayer. So I just sit down and talk to Brother Raymond. And Brother Raymond tell you about things that, you know, you get to learn stuff. A lot of us black people who know our family history, don't like Kendall. Salute to Kendall. Y'all gotta hit up Kendall on her hypnotherapy. She's dope as fuck. I got major love for Kendall Cobb for hypnotherapy. But Kendall, she's a descendant of the Hiltons. Like her family bloodline is the Hiltons. So every time she looks up and see a Hilton property, Paris Hilton, Hilton this, Hilton that, she got a whole bloodline that's wealthy than a motherfucker. That she shares common ancestor, a bloodline with. Just a couple generations removed. Just a few generations removed. These are facts. And so I answer this sister again with love. I'm not here to bash her. Maybe she just don't know. So let's educate.
Just because someone else's trauma isn't the same as yours, that doesn't mean it's not valid. But what we need to remember is by asking and begging for reparations or permission for anything, or even saying with the Essence Fest, oh, you're showing other cultures and you're not standing on the cultures that really started this event, you are disproportionately cutting yourself out from the bigger picture. You are stifling your own self. And you are always stronger when you are together. When you divide yourself and you go into...
She said, okay, she said a lot there, but she said, going back to the Essence Fest thing, she said that we're only cutting ourselves out when we say no other cultures. No, we're not. I'm always looking at. Let me see if let me give myself a screenshot. She said we're only cutting ourselves out. No, we're not. No, we're not. You gotta understand that we have a very, very, very rich and wealthy, complex culture, and we got so many aspects of our culture. Essence Fest, that 3 days, 4 days of Essence Fest ain't really even enough time to celebrate all of the aspects just of our own culture. Like, damn. Well, no, we mean this is what people gotta realize. This is what people gotta realize. We are home. We're home. And we like sometimes just to be home. I'll never forget, when I grew up in the Crenshaw district, we had something called the Pan-African Festival every year. And I remember it was there every year because you always knew when it was coming because they was always parking in front of my goddamn house. And here in LA, we had the Pan-African Pan-African Festival. And we're talking about in the 80s and the 90s. Right here at Dorsey High. I lived here over on Chesapeake. This the house I grew up in right here. This one right here. From the 80s to the mid-90s. All black neighborhood. Beautiful neighborhood over here. Miss Alice is right here. Miss Dorothy. Mr. George. George was from Okinawa. He would bring us flowers every Friday. George, who lived right here. But across over here was the Rodeo Lane Apartments. These was the Rodeo Lanes. And although it was safe on my side of the street, me looking out that very window right here, this is my bedroom window, I saw at least 4 people get shot over here by the time I was 10. So anyway, this street was called Rodeo Road back in the day. Now it's called Obama. We used to have, I'm just giving you context. We used to have something called the Pan-African Festival. This is Dorsey High School. Up until about 10 years ago, this school released more players to the NFL than any school in the country. The Rodeo Land project, these projects was real. But down here, they had a Pan-African Festival every year. And people, black LA would show up by the tens of thousands. This used to be a swimming pool right here. This grass patch, this used to be a swimming pool. That tennis court is where Venus and Serena used to play. I used to watch Venus and Serena play. These little girls that we used to hear about with these braids. They used to play over here. We talking about in the late 80s. Venus and Serena. They would come down over here from Compton. But anyway, this whole park was full. Pan-African Festival. All this grass you see right here, all of this, everything, this football field, I mean, black people by the tens of thousands celebrating Pan-Africanism. In my childhood, from as early as I can remember, up until I moved from there when I was 16, we celebrated Pan-Africanism. So I don't want to hear shit about us shortchanging ourselves. We fuck with y'all when it's time to fuck with y'all. We fuck with y'all when it's time to fuck with y'all. Then you got Leimert Park. Leimert Park is goddamn Pan-Africaville. Matter of fact, they call Leimert Park Africa Town. Leimert Park under gentrification right now, of course. Man, this is Pan-Africaville. Look at all this Africa shit. If you want to see some red, black, and green, you want to see Jamaica, you come over here to Lamert Park, under this tree right here, when it's a festival going on, it's going to be some Jamaican brothers sitting right up under here. If you ever ain't got, I ain't going to snitch on them, but if you ain't got that thun, you can get the thun. Back in the day before, you can go to the shops, the Jamaicans be sitting right there. You got all the Africa this, you got Jamaican cuisine. All through, look, you got the red, black, and green bus sitting right here, nigga. What the fuck you mean? We fuck with y'all. We fuck with y'all. We fuck with y'all when it's time to fuck with y'all. Salute to soul folks. Under gentrification like crazy. We fuck with y'all when it's time to fuck with y'all. But when we go to Essence Fest, we don't want to hear no do. Hell no. Do. You play that shit for me in New Orleans, I'm beating your ass. And I don't even like fighting. You better not ever hear no do. Nah, motherfucker. Sometimes it's just our time. Sometimes it's just our time. And when we go to Essence Fest, this is what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear this shit. No.
I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do.
No. Hell no. We'll go to your shit and listen to that shit all day. But when we go to Essence Fest, we want to hear outstanding. And fuck you if you don't like it. I don't want to hear that shit. No. And no disrespect. But let me tell you something about us culturally as black people. We take our music serious. You're on our land. You're going to have to learn who the fuck you're dealing with. Because we ain't changing. I want people to think about this. White folks have been trying to get us to change for 400 years. White folks have been trying to get us to change for 400 years. If white people couldn't change us, the fuck you make you think you gonna change us? You think y'all gonna change us with this? We don't cause. No, you're not. We're not. Holy, and I know that get both, like the Baba Frayo, my. That's not. I mean, let's talk cold turkey. We've been indoctrinated They done beat they white European shit into us for 15, 20 generations. And we haven't changed. There's this cultural thing we have around music that's not going to change. I know Essence is a magazine, but it's the music that brings us all together. And when we're around each other, this is what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear. Sorry, not sorry. Not sorry. I mean, in emphasis on not sorry. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear Gladys Knight. Hell, when it comes to Essence Fest, we don't even want to hear hip hop like that. We want to hear some old school hip hop. But you better not play no young nigga music around at Essence Fest. What? You better not play none of this young nigga shit. Man, beat your ass. You better get that bullshit. Grandmama be like, sit down. Man. Go to Essence Fest and play this.
Early in the morning, late at night.
You know what grandmama gonna say? Sit down. Turn that off and sit down. Trying to come around black folks with this shit. Sit down. Turn it off. Turn it off. Sit down. So you got somebody trying to tell us that we need to bend for that musty ass music when we don't want to hear no goddamn Drake at Essence Fest. We don't want to hear no Future at Essence Fest. We don't want to hear no Migos at Essence Fest. Any of this young nigga bullshit. We definitely don't want to hear no goddamn Lil Wayne, and he's from New Orleans at Essence Fest. Man, I remember when the Carter came out, all the Carters came out, when Lil Wayne was at, I'm talking about mixtape Lil Wayne. I'm talking about the Carter 3 Lil Wayne. I was at Essence Fest all them years. It wasn't about playing that syrup drinking shit there. Yeah, grannies do love Snoop. They will play some rap. Grannies do love Snoop, but Young D, you got to realize, grannies didn't start loving Snoop to the last 10 years. They still hated Snoop when the blue carpet treatment came out. Hey, motherfucker. It's just certain things that the energy of Essence Fest, like I said before on the show, there's a silent majority of black people who, although we like hip hop, we listen to it, we're into more of our rhythm and blues. Rhythm and blues was socially engineered out of our music. And if you follow my Patreon, I teach you how over on Patreon. Patreon, I have at least 16 hours of content showing you how rhythm and blues was methodically taken away out of our sound. If y'all want to in the chat, let me know. I'll do another one of those kind of shows here on YouTube if y'all want me to. But if I do it live on YouTube, I'll probably take it down and put it right back up on Patreon. But let me know if y'all want me to break that down again one day. Or just go to Patreon. Shit. I'll only be repeating myself if I did another breakdown. But Rhythm and blues was a sound that was taken from us. Rhythm and blues is a sound of Black America. Here's the proof. Hip hop, till this day, cannot do without a rhythm and blues. GNX by Kendrick Lamar is an R&B album with Kendrick rapping over top. Everything else on that album is rhythm and blues. Everything. And Essence Fest represents that core national sound of Black America that grandmamas, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, children, grandchildren can listen to together. That's what brings the lion's share. That's why you don't have a hip hop fest that can go 4 days like Essence Fest. Hip hop 50 years old. You gotta forget, hip hop and disco are the same fucking age. People forget that shit. They both came out in 1973. If you take their word for it, if you go with the Cool Herc story, hip hop and disco are the same fucking age. Funk's only 7 years older. Like, dude, after 50 years, hip hop can't pull off no goddamn Essence Fest. They tried to with the BET Awards out here, and that ain't got 1/10 of the luster of Essence Fest. And I'm from LA. I'm a homer. Y'all know me, I'm LA. I'm LA all day. But BET Festival, BET Experience Weekend is a goddamn autistic version of Essence Fest. It sucks. And it's still intertwined with a lot of rhythm and blues. It's not hip hop on its own. No, funk was not 1974. The funk was 1966. Essence Fest, the silent majority of Black people who like to, because in every one of our cities, we have these all the time. Y'all thought like that. See, if you believe that bullshit ass Cool Herc lie where he came out into the park and he started hip hop, park functions is Black American functions, nigga. We've been doing that. Music festivals? What? Watts Stacks here in LA, 1971. Go look up Watts Stacks. The song by the Blackbirds. The song Rock Creek Park. You want to know Black America? I'm not even from DC. But this song sounds so Black American. Doing it in the park. After dark. Oh, yeah. That's Black American, nigga. I wasn't even born then, and I'm not from DC. But that song tells me the function I'm going to go to this fucking weekend. This weekend, I'm going to be going to a function that sounds like everything that's happening in that song right there. And I'm on the other coast. So Essence Fest represents a kind of music and a cultural experience, whether you're from DC, LA, Chicago, Minneapolis, you know you can go to Essence Fest and get that family experience. Somebody in the chat said this song, and I'm going to play it only because the intro is so smooth. That's all I can give you, because I don't want to get a strike. That's all I can give you. That's what Essence Fest is the pinnacle of that. So whether you live in Vegas and you're at the Vegas Jazz Festival, hell, Black people have cruises. Music festival is part of our American culture, yo. Y'all remember Sinbad Summer Jam? They used to come on HBO. Black Americans will fly to the Caribbean to watch the Ohio players. Yes, I know, because we all got family that got the pictures from it. You growing up as a kid. Well, what's that? Oh, we went on a cruise that went to St. Thomas to see the Whispers. Like, auntie, the Whispers live down the street. Man, you know how many times the Whispers live? Goddamn, some of the people in the Whispers live goddamn 5 minutes from where I was living at the time. And I had family that was over there that went to a goddamn Caribbean cruise to see the Whispers that live right down the street. The Tom Joyner cruise, yeah. Al Heyman's Bud Light Summer Festival. Sam Watson done told me all kind of stories about the Al Heyman. My dad used to always go to the Bud Light Superfest. And it was the Bud Light Superfest that Marvin Gaye, the great Marvin Gaye, introduced one Frankie Beverly. Come on now, y'all know the rest. It was at the Budweiser Summerfest that Marvin Gaye introduced the world to Frankie Beverly and Mays. So, if you that stupid ass owner of Essence Fest, why the hell would you change a formula that's been working since God knows when? You put together Charlie Wilson, Jill Scott. Maybe if you want some rap, throw some Common up in that motherfucker. You gonna get some niggas to come down. Throw some Music Soul Child, some goddamn the OJs. Yeah, you got a few more thousand niggas gonna come down. Oh, you can get New Edition? Oh shit, that's another 100,000 niggas right there. You got New Edition to come. That's another 100,000 niggas that's gonna come to your city. Just cause New Edition there. Only 30,000 gonna get in the arena, but 100,000 coming. You fucking idiot. Why would you mess that up? And let me tell you something else, people that are not Black Americans, and this is with no respect, but I'm only telling you this because it's a fact, because I love you. You're not interesting to us like that. You're interesting enough to us for us to go to your Pan-African Festival. We'll do that. But when it's our time, it's our time. And nothing outside of our culture interests us when it's our time. Because we're Americans, goddammit. Ethnocentric to a fault. Yes, it might be to a fault, but you're not interesting enough to make us change that. That's just what it is. We are too busy obsessing over what the brother down the street's talking about. We too busy at First Baptist Church trying to sound better than Mount Missionary Zionist Baptist Church. You better learn who you living amongst. Because, again, like I said before, if the white supremacists couldn't get us off this, what makes you think you are?
The conflict, and then you go begging other people for things to give you freedom, that's going to keep you in the horrible loop that got you stuck here in the first place. So today, right now, if you don't like what someone is doing, you don't have to participate. I know the lineup was presented before you went to Essence Fest. I know that things were laid out before you chose to go out there. There are so many other Black music festivals that are happening that would appreciate our support. But in this day and age,
she said, you didn't have to go to Essence Fest. Bitch! And no, I'm not saying that personally to you because I don't know you like that, but that statement requires a bitch. I'm saying that about the statement, not the person. What? Don't go to Essence Fest. Man, you tell me not to go to Essence Fest in 2008, I'd have slapped the shit out you. I'd have slapped the shit out my own goddamn cousin that I love dearly. If they told me I can't go to no, don't go to what? The fuck is you talking about? We do go to the other festivals. I go to festivals all the time around the country. Last year, I was at a jazz festival up in Napa, California. Beautiful, too. I done been to festivals in Nevada. I done been to festivals in Colorado. I done been to festivals all over. But don't nothing touch that Essence Fest. Let's not fuck around. I done been to Miami at festivals. Don't nothing touch that Essence Fest when it's right. When it's right. I done been all over this motherfucker to festivals. Don't nothing touch Essence Fest. I've been in plenty of cities' festivals. She out her clown ass mind saying some shit like that. No. Ma'am, that was very disrespectful to our culture. I didn't even mean to say it like that. Because I don't want to disrespect this woman over. This is a minor disagreement, so I don't want to disrespect her personally. But something came out of me. You don't, when it comes to our music, don't fuck around.
Have choices. And when you're ignorant, you are choosing to be ignorant because there's so much information out there. I didn't come from a rich background. I grew up in a...
She said we ignorant because we didn't read who was going to be on the lineup. You know how many goddamn times I went to Essence Fest and didn't go into the show? Especially when I was in college. I was broke as hell in college. I barely could afford a flight to that motherfucker. But I knew once I got to Louisiana, the cost of living is much cheaper than it is in LA. So to eat out in Louisiana is cheaper than to eat out in LA. You know, everything's in the French Quarter, so other than my taxi cab, long before Uber, my taxi cab ride, I'm only going to need a taxi from the airport to the motherfucking hotel and back. Outside of that, you know how many times I went to Essence Fest on a budget when I was in college? The hell you talking about? Check the lineup. The lineup don't, half the time the lineup don't goddamn matter. I'm going to Essence Fest so I can, because I'm from LA, man. I want some of that Louisiana gumbo. I want some of that Louisiana crab boil. That man, that New Orleans catfish hit different. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Catfish and shrimp in Louisiana, in New Orleans, in Lake Charles, in southern Louisiana, that shit hit anywhere different in the world. So to even offer me Jollof while I'm in goddamn Louisiana, you need to get bombed on. Whoever idea that would offer some Jollof with all that good damn Louisiana food need to get publicly flogged. And she's calling us ignorant? No, we're not ignorant. We know what the fuck we want. You're ignorant. Thinking we want that multi-culti bullshit at Essence Fest.
Single mother household.
Now she goes into the whole poor single mother household trope about
You have choices.
About the desperate despair black folks.
And when you're ignorant, you are choosing to be ignorant because there's so much information out there. I didn't come from a rich background. I grew up in a single mother household. I had oppression from religion, and I had to overcome a lot of things. I had an abusive marriage. I had all types of stuff going on. I was a teenage mom. I didn't graduate high school. I could easily still be in the hood and in the ghetto. But I chose to rewrite my story, and instead of asking anyone for permission, I took control of my life. So we don't need reparations because everything is out there for you to get. Everything's out there for you to get.
Hey,
yeah, did y'all hear that? So after she puts herself up on her high horse and saying that she got herself out of a messed up situation, she had children early and she was able to get past that. And so because she was able to overcome, think about, let's go back and listen to what she said, because she's basically talking about the negative circumstances she put herself in. So she's saying basically because she's able to overcome the negative circumstances she put herself in, we don't need reparations.
I didn't come from a rich background. I grew up in a single mother household.
Most black people didn't grow up in a rich background.
I had oppression.
But I had my parents, and I'm still asking for reparations.
From religion, and I had to overcome a lot of things. I had an abusive marriage. I had all types of stuff going on. I was a teenage mom.
You were a teenage mom. Your choice. You had an abusive marriage. You chose that nigga.
Didn't graduate high school. I could easily.
You didn't graduate high school. You chose not to go to class and graduate. I know plenty of people who had babies at 16 and still graduated high school. So because she chose not to graduate high school, because she chose to not throw a condom on and have a baby at a young age. So because she passed up probably 15 nerdy niggas to get to that one dude that ended up dipping out on her, those are all her choices.
Still be in the hood and in the ghetto. But I chose to rewrite my story, and instead of asking anyone for permission, I took control of my life. So we don't need reparations because she decided to take control of her life after she made a bunch of bad choices that fucked up her life. She made the choices that put her up in a screwed up decision. She made the choice to get up out that situation. Great, fine. Well, what about the people who made the choice? So you said I don't need reparations because I live in a city called LA, and according to the paperwork and what's been, and even Maxine Waters had to acknowledge it, the government that I pay taxes to decided to put drugs in my community. And although I didn't take drugs, it still harmed my community. Every person that died of a crack overdose, every child victim of gang violence because they were trying to make money, that's a customer that I could have had. These are all people that us as black entrepreneurs, we could still be buying from. Those could be we probably lost in that crack epidemic. We lost somebody that could have given us solar powered cars. We lost people who could have given us a way to get to teleport us to goddamn Jupiter and back. Now, how many goddamn mines and stuff that we lost? The trauma that we dealing with isn't something that we asked for. You asked for an unwed baby. You asked to have to not. You chose not. That's fine, and I ain't got no judgment, man. My mom had me and my sister at a young age. I ain't got no judgment on that. Thank God for my father for sticking around and raising. Salute to my dad. I gotta call my dad too. Me and my dad gotta talk about the Lakers. Me and my dad gotta talk about how LeBron James fucking up my Lakers right now. And me and my dad gotta have a talk. We ain't talk about the Lakers in a few weeks. But anyway, she's conflating a traumatic situation that she put herself in to why we don't need reparations. But from there, I want you to go in and watch the show because Brother Rich gave a great, and Professor Griff, they both gave great responses. This whole part ended in respect. The lady, she ended respectfully. You know, so again, this isn't about her. Maybe she just needs to get put up on game. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But Brother Rich did a great job of really putting that in check. Professor Griff did a great job of bringing historical context. And salute to the people in the chat room that asked me to watch that. It was a dope broadcast. Somebody asked would an edible be great for a sound bath. If you like edibles, yeah. But I don't do edibles. I smoke that fire. I get real high before sound baths. Oh, and also go to blisscapsules.com. Bliss capsules, buy 2, get 1 for free. Bliss capsules
Those are really good at for clearing your mind and making it real. You focus on for work. For me, at least, I can speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else. But bliss capsules is a good thing to take before it sound bad for me. I take it good. I ain't gonna tell you niggas what to do. But if you go to blisscapsules.com, type in the product code DeWanB, you buy 2, you get 1 for free. Then bliss capsules, personally for me, damn things are great. Oh, you were watching yesterday, Wildflower? What's up, Food Pig? I ain't seen you in a minute. Yeah, come out to the west. Yeah, but she wasn't from our lineage. What's up, Quan? But this is the next, this is 2000, this is a 9 of Hearts year. We talked about that in my card reading for the year. This is where people who've been traditionally on the same side are going to have to talk it out, fight it out, bring it out, put it out there so we can move forward. And people are either going to come to an understanding and forgive, or they're going to go their separate ways. That's what the 9 of Hearts represents in the cards. Either forgive and let go, or don't forgive and let go. Either way it go, this is the year of letting it go. And, you know, I ain't got no issues with nobody, but at the same time, if you have an issue with me and my stance, understand this. I don't give a fuck. We see people getting bags while we pay taxes. And you never never heard me say what they shouldn't get. I believe in hell. The way this government steal from us, I don't give a fuck who get what. But I want mine too. I want mine. I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. You heard Warren G.
What's up, Negro?
I want it all.
I want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. And I'm balling every time I stop and talk to y'all.
I want it all, goddammit.
I want it all. Money, fast cars, diamond rings, gold chains, and champagne shit. Every damn thing, I want it all.
I want it all. Goddammit. Brand new Benzos. Brand new socks and drawers. And one thing I would not tolerate is somebody over here policing. Ain't nobody policing how they gonna spend their couple $100. You know what I'm gonna do when I get reparations? Let's just say our reparation check is $5 million. I'm gonna take 2.5 of that in cash and pull my Johnson out and piss on it. Just to piss everybody off that want to police how black people spend our money. Now, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to have some pissy dollars. I'm not going to lose none of it. But I'm going to take a stack and piss on it. To be like, ha, 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 ha. Just to be vulgar. Now, whoever work at the bank, you're going to have some pissy dollars you got to touch. Because I ain't burning shit. I'm sorry, y'all. That was rude. It's probably too early in the day for that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to do that. I mean, because people be having the nerve. What you going to do with the money? I'm going to wipe my ass with it. What the fuck you care for? You know what I mean? I took that money and I used it. I took a stack of $100. I took $10,000. I took a whole stack of hundreds and I'm using it to balance my fucking table. The hell do you care for, nigga? But I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Thank y'all. I got a grill to get on. I got some. Y'all, I'm gonna take a picture of it later on. I got a home Dungeness crab. I'm about to smoke that motherfucker in walnut wood. I got some barbecue wings I'm throwing on my grill too. Throwing on some barbecue grills, some barbecue wings, and a couple crabs. Whole crab. And I'm gonna smoke that motherfucker for like 50 minutes in walnut wood. All right. Thank y'all again for listening. You know, look, like a brother Rich said when he was on the channel, look, this conversation's out there. People who are black and have an issue with our reparations. You see Karen Bass right here in this AI picture I made? This is what we're looking at. We're looking at the people telling us, no, we can't have anything while we're facing mass homelessness and mass gentrification. Give our money to other people. And we've seen this generation after generation after generation after generation. And we're the generation that's saying, you know what, enough. And if you're not born and raised here, if your great great grandparents weren't born and raised here, you probably wouldn't understand. Everything isn't for our understanding. And for the things that aren't your understanding, it's best just to say, you know what? I don't understand. That's their thing. They can have it. All right. Y'all have a good one. We out.